All right. Good morning, YouTube. How we doing? On a bit later this morning than yesterday. Here to do some live pre-market prep with y'all, as well as potentially trade the markets a little bit today. Remember, we've had a really big week, or we have a really big week, from a news perspective. Today, there is pending home sales. Tomorrow, though, is really the big thing. We've got the FOMC decision happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. So, with that in mind, it's very plausible that we end up seeing the market chop around today just as it did yesterday. I didn't end up taking any trades yesterday. I set a whole bunch of alerts. Not a single one of them went off. It just chopped in the middle range the entire day. And so because of that, we look like we're going to be in a similar spot today ahead of FOMC, if I'm being completely honest. But nonetheless, I want to go through some of the pre-market stuff here so that we can kind of figure out exactly what we want to do here. So first, looking at ES. Pull up the daily, excuse me. We are up in the pre-market almost 23 points, about 1/3%. What does that mean? That means we're going to have a gap down on SPX. So, if we look at the SPX chart from yesterday, that means we now have a gap fill from yesterday below us, a gap fill above us, and then one even further below that. The new gap will also be to the downside. It won't quite be into the gap above it, but it'll be relatively close. Lot of gap fills. And if you've been paying attention over the last week, those gaps have not filled yet. We're just sitting here with a whole bunch of them on our charts. Whether we'll have to wait till FOMC tomorrow to get some of these gap fills, or whether we'll be able to get them soon, remains to be seen. I find it very unlikely that we go through a whole other day without getting one of these gap fills on SPX, as many as there now are on the chart. So that is what we will watch from a ES standpoint, is the gap fills. The most immediate one that will be created today will be about 23 points to the upside, and then we will gap down from there. Okay. Let's move through. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Excuse me. I just deleted something off my screen. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Now I'm going to move on. I want to take a look at Apple first. Apple has this nice 3-point trend line to the downside on the daily chart. We are nowhere near that, though. So to the upside, not really a lot for us there on the Apple chart. Not a stock that I'm really interested in watching today, quite frankly. AMD is going to be in a similar boat. It does have a gap fill to the downside still after 186.50. I have an alert set there. I'm not quite sure if it'll actually get there, but if it does, we will keep an eye on that. By the way, good morning in the chat. Good morning in the chat. I see somebody's jumped in their top line. Thank you so much for joining the stream this morning. Let me know if you've got some setups you're watching for today. Anything you want me to keep an eye on. But anyway, there is some plays on the AMD chart, like the gap fill to the downside. There is also a gap fill to the upside, but that is above 220. Obviously, we're nowhere near 220 at 196 right now on AMD, so that's not going to do anything for it. Let me just set an alert for the upside move anyway, just so that I have it. Boom. Wow, Google's got a nice little tight trend line here, actually. So this is the Google chart right here. Daily trend line here. I want to look at the hourly chart. We actually just broke that trend line on Google right here, 306 level. That actually could be a very interesting play. That could be very well worthwhile. So I'm going to keep an eye on Google today. Let me make a note of that. I'm not going to set an alert for it. That's just going to be one of them. We're just going to throw right on the big screen at the start of market and see if we catch this trend line break to the upside. But after that trend line break, you got levels at 310, 320, 327, 330, 332, so on and so forth. The levels on that particular stock, Google right now, are pretty aggressive. The swing high is at 350. I really think this market, by the way, is just getting primed to break out. Trump seems to be fairly confident based on the chats from yesterday. Seems to be fairly confident that this war will end soon. And I think once it does, obviously oil prices will return to normal very quick. The stock market will return to normal. Not only do I think it will return to normal, I think it's going to scorch through some of the levels that it hadn't been through in a while. We do need really the 7,100 break on ES to really continue the bull run. That's about 320 points from where we're at right now. I think it's very doable upon the ending of the war, which could happen over the next few weeks or even month. If it happens over the next month, honestly, still going to end up pumping the market when it does happen. So I would definitely look out for it. So Google's on the docket for today. Meta, Meta still has a gap fill from yesterday, where it gapped down after news on Friday, or before news on Friday, and then started to move back up. There is about another $4 or $5 left in that gap fill. It looks like it's about 634 to 639. I had that there sitting there yesterday. I had that alert there yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't get the play there. We didn't get the move to the upside. It just chopped around. So we will keep another eye on Meta today for that same exact gap fill at that time. Also, pardon me, just writing one thing down. Also, Meta in general, just a fantastic stock. Announcing the layoffs too is going to be massively huge for them. So really kind of interested to see how the stock reacts there. Okay, looking at Microsoft, some good setups on the horizon for Microsoft. Really nothing today. It's in a very choppy range. It does look like there's a possible head and shoulders pattern here on Microsoft, with 380 being the bottom and 412 being the top of the head. In my opinion, what that looks like is a real choppy range. So basically between 380 and 410 on Microsoft, it's going to get real choppy. And so we're kind of in a bad range right now for Microsoft to get anything done. So I'm going to kind of leave that one as is. But I do think that there is a possible breakout or sell-off coming in Microsoft based off of that pattern. The other thing is we do have the gap fill on Microsoft. It's from about 443 to 480. It is an absolutely massive gap fill. Once we do get it, it's probably going to take a few days to close, but there's definitely day trades, there's swing trades, there's all sorts of trades that you could take around Microsoft with that in mind. All right, moving on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, they are having a huge conference this week. Jensen Huang talked about yesterday their AI chips and thinking they're scaling part of that business up to 500 billion. Well, he took that back. He took that back so he could put a new figure on it. 1 trillion. I actually thought the market might react a bit more to that, but it did not. Either way, NVIDIA's in a real good spot, and I think NVIDIA is going to pick up a lot of steam. As far as for a day trade today, though, there's just not a lot on the chart for us to go with here. We have a gap fill further up, closer to the all-time high, which is at 212.20 or 0.19. And we have some serious support at 170. I don't think it goes below that. Either way, kind of just chilling on NVIDIA. Gonna let it do its own thing. I've sold a lot of puts on them, so and obviously I have a huge long-term position in NVIDIA. So I'm kind of just chilling, if you will, with what I have with NVIDIA right now. And so kind of happy just to stay content. Don't see any real good setups just yet on NVIDIA. Let's move over to one of the more exciting stocks, which is going to be interesting to watch how it reacts after the war. You know what? Excuse me one sec. I changed my mind. I want to look at one other thing really quick. I forgot to mark out trend lines. Okay, Microsoft's got theirs. Meta's got theirs. NVIDIA's got their mess. Okay, on to Palantir. Now we're on to Palantir. Palantir has a little downward trend line it's working on here. It looks to me, actually, like it's consolidating just below that level. It's been consolidating basically between 148 and 160. The trend line break now sits right at 160, basically. So, if we get that trend line break, I think we'll see a nice little pump on Palantir. Not one that I'm necessarily watching right this second today for a day trade. I think it's too far away from the 160 mark, and I don't know. I just don't think it's quite ready to move yet. But I definitely think there's some potential there once we cross through some of those key levels. Looking at the QQQ chart, which mine is a bit messy. Why are you so messy? I don't know why I have green levels on here. Maybe because it's St. Patrick's Day. But QQQ looking good. QQQ has just the most amazing wick fill above this 631 level into about 645. Waiting patiently for that. That wick is from about February 2nd. So almost 2 months ago is where that wick's from. And when it does get there, I think you'll see it fill pretty quick. For now, QQQ has found quite a bit of support at the 590 level up to about 615. Huge range there. Just kind of consolidating for the last almost 2 months in that range on QQQ, waiting for the breakout. Good morning. Opening inside yesterday's range. Yep. And tomorrow's FOMC. Yep. We did talk a little bit about that at the top of the stream. Could be just another choppy day. I will say, though, avoiding a gap fill right now on SPX is like running through a minefield. And I say that because if you look at SPX, it is just it's got 4 gap fills now within like almost 100 points on the chart. So, and we're going to have another gap back down after the move up in last night's pre-market. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can get those gaps filled. I'm very confident. Like, we've got to get one. I don't see how we could go without having another gap fill. If we end up chopping and not getting into any of the gap fill ranges, That means tomorrow we could potentially have 4 gap fills in like a 100-point period. Probably pretty cool for FOMC to trade that. I think it's unlikely to happen. I don't know. My 2 cents. Market opens here in about 2.5 minutes. Last stock we're going to go through right now is Tesla. Tesla has a bit of a downward trend since late December. It is down overnight. So it's a little bit counterintuitive, or a little bit opposite the rest of it's a little opposite the rest of the market. But I'm interested to see how Tesla reacts. I mean, I do think Tesla is imminent for a breakout and a little bit of a bull run, at least to get us back to like 420, 430, maybe 440. I think that break is coming fairly soon. It really needs to push above this trend line, which now sits at 410. That's about $15 up. It's not going to get there today. Tesla's not moving $15 the day before FOMC, unless there's some just massive news that comes out of left field, slaps us in the face and goes, all right, we'll pump, right? Like, it's not going to happen. You have a better chance of seeing Bigfoot probably than getting Tesla to move $15 today. So good luck with that. I've got a bunch of puts that I sold that are going to be up here at open. You might see some orders tick off right as the market opens here. That's just me closing out some of the puts that I sold for profit. I like to do that around the 50% mark, maybe a bit more depending on the situation. We've got now 50 seconds until the market opens. We've actually done a little push here, so I'm going to go to our multi-cam or multi-chart here. We've actually made a nice little push over the last 10 or so minutes on ES and NQ. And so we actually just got a new pre-market high, quite frankly, in that. I'm going to get ready to mark out this gap fill on ES, or SPX, pardon me. I think it's going to be about 20. Let's see. Yesterday, we finally had like a normal gap fill at open. I was like, wow, okay, it actually moved the amount of points it should have moved. So, yeah, we'll see if we're that fortunate again. All right, market's open. It's quite a big gap up, actually. Okay. Okay, so gap fill to the downside starts 67.21, 622. Gap fill to the upside starts at about 67.40. So we're in a very tight range. I think it's time we break out of this range. I think it's time we do that. VIX, by the way, dropping nicely overall. The VIX is now down to 22.34. Quite a bit down from its high last week of, I think it was about 35. Unfortunately, contracts are still a little expensive. Actually, they're not too expensive. 16 to 18. They're coming back down a bit. They're not quite as expensive as they once were. That's for sure. Okay, a little bit of a sell-off through the 25,000 level on NQ to open the market. ES and NQ are out of sync. ES is green on this first candle, NQ red as of now. First 2-minute candle. Excuse me. That it's showing above on the 5-minute candle, but not on the 2-minute candle. I have no idea why that's doing that. That's really weird. My Google chart looks really weird. It's showing the trend line is broke on the 5 and 15-minute candle, but not on. That's so weird. I don't understand. I'm dumbfounded. Okay, NQ and ES though now moving together. Okay, SPX getting close to the gap fill from the other day. That's the 67.40 level. I want to see a break and retest for entry into that. But I do like that gap to fill to the upside. NQ and ES both pushing new high of day here. All right, closing out some meta puts from the other day. That's what that was. Really great play that was on meta. I made about 60% in a day or two on that. So that worked out real well. Okay, we are in the gap fill range now on SPX. I'm waiting for a bit of a retest. Meta did, ooh, look at that. Meta's in our gap fill. Let's see if we get a retest on meta too. Sitting there in that gap fill range now. The rest of it, it's very, very close. Without a retest, though, this early in the market, I don't want to do it. So if I don't see the retest, it's just not going to get taken. And that's okay if it just keeps pumping. I'm okay with that. Here goes our retest on meta. This might be the entry here. Oh, I just missed it. Okay. Yeah, I did just retest there, but I kind of missed it. See about the gap fill here if we get the retest on that too. I think the next support on meta, or the support below, is at 634. So that's kind of what I want to see for entry here, personally. Okay,
order partially filled.
I'm entering meta calls.
Order filled.
Meta calls right now off the 634 bounce. My stop loss is going to be here at 632, and I'm going to take profit at 638. 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio here on meta. Waiting to see. We might get the retest of the start of the gap fill on SPX. It's a bit early in the market. I'm in the meta trade. I might hold just for now on entering an SPX trade until I see what happens with our meta here. But I'm in meta calls. I want to see if we get back into that gap fill on meta and push above the 636 level. That's the high of day right there, 5 minutes into market on meta. Okay, here's the push on meta. Really nice push here. We do have support here at the 633.88 level on meta. Really good to see. Let's see if we push through high of day. I might end up taking some profits here if we push through high of day. And then again at the 638 level. Wouldn't be a bad idea, though, to just take a little bit of profit here if we get the 636 break and a move through high of day. Getting a retest now of the start of the gap fill on SPX. Looks to me to be very bullish here. Wonder if we'll get an entry here on SPX or retest at the start of the gap fill. We might have just gotten it there. I may miss it now, but we'll see. Ooh, big drop there, meta. That's weird. Just watching the retest at the start of the gap fill here on SPX, see if it gets it. It's right at a key psych level. The 6,800 is the only thing that's a little bit tricky here, figuring out how to play it exactly. Meta is holding up a bit here for us. quite a bit above where we bought it at. I would love to see the 636 break, though. Okay, SPY is going back for the start of this gap fill. See if it retests it all the way. I'd love to see a retest that just touches the start of the gap fill here at 67.41. This might be as good an entry as we're going to get here, to be honest with you. Just hanging for a sec, though. I don't want to enter just yet while I'm holding this metric. This looks like, though, some consolidation, a bit of a bull flag right now on ES and NQ. They are in sync, which is nice. Meta, same exact thing. Looks bull flaggy here, too. So I think we could see a pop off here. Here we go. Meta's moving now. Let's see if Meta pushes through the 636 and the high of day here. That's really what we're looking for. There it is. I'm going to sell off a little bit of my Meta here, just about half of it. And the rest I'm going to hold to 638. Excuse me. Sell off one more.
Order filled.
Okay, so exactly half of my Meta is gone now. Let's see if we get the push into 638 here. I think we're going to get the push on ES and NQ as well here. There was a bit of an entry there on SPX right at the bottom of the gap fill. I shied a bit away from it just because I was already in this Meta trade, so no point in doubling down too much and going too crazy. Nice push now on ES. Looks like NQ trying to get through high of day here. I think it's coming any second here. We're seeing the volume pick up a little bit here. I'd like to see another retest on SPX. I ask and you shall receive, huh? All right, just being patient here as we wait for the next push to come in. Here goes another retest. Ooh, this might be the best retest we're going to get. I'm entering.
Order filled.
I'm entering SPY.
Order filled.
Here. I think we're going to see a push. I think it's coming. This is too bull flaggy for us. This gap fill goes to, I believe, 67.76. There will most certainly be profits taken along the way. Wow, 2 trades today. We are in it. We're getting crazy over here. No trades yesterday. 2 trades today. 2 trade Tuesday. We have pushed up a bit on this SPY since we entered here. Just trying to be patient. I really think we're going to get a big bull candle here very, very soon. I think it's impeding. Joel, I know you're waiting on the same thing. I really think it looks like it's definitely going to come in here. We'd like to have found maybe a bit more support here at the 634.40 level on Meta, so I'm going to move my stop loss slightly there. Stop loss here on the gap fill, by the way, 67.40 started the gap. Wonder how well Google moved off of. No, Google did not really move off of that trend line too well. So, nothing crazy there on that move. Got some other puts that I probably need to close out here soon. Seeing a bit of a drop now on Meta. NQ and ES slightly out of sync on the last candle. Very similar patterns, so it's not the end of the world, but they were technically out of sync. Volume actually quite low on futures. So market is a little low in advance of FOMC. We do have news in 17 minutes. Oh, wow. Big drop on Meta there. That's interesting. Right to my stop loss level. Okay,
order filled.
This Meta. Wow, interesting. That was a big drop there. Unexpected. But I'm going to close out of it here. It broke key support level there. There is support here at 634, but it's not strong enough. I'm very surprised by that move on Meta, if I'm being honest with you. That didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Wow, look at the drop on Meta now. Drop on Meta is kind of crazy, actually. Wow. I don't like that for the rest of the market here, too, if I'm being honest. But NQ and ES holding a tight range for now. Stock market's a little all over the place right now. Little bit all over the place. Let's get this push through the 67.50. I'll feel much better about myself if that happens, if and when that happens. Gosh. Market is not being kind to us right now. Joel, you take anything yet today, or anybody else on stream take any trades yet today? We are a little bit out of sync. NASDAQ's looking like it wants to push here. ES holding a little bit behind. Here we go. We're getting a little push now, a little volume. Joel, you take anything today? Let's see if we get the push through the 67.50 on SPX. Yes, 68.05 on ES. There's the push. Yes, nice push. I'm
order filled.
A little bit, very small amount of my position here. Still holding the rest. I'm gonna move my stop loss slightly up to this next level of support here. Really ripping here now.
Order filled.
Gonna close out of a bit more here. Okay, we're moving. We're moving. Market's moving. Clap it up. Clap it up. If you clap like that, ES isn't pushing through. Ha ha ha. Say that again, Joel. Say it again, because as soon as you said it, it pushed through. Say it again, it's not pushing through. Sometimes you got to clap the stock up. Go, 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 go. Just like that. That was a weird move on Meta, to be honest. That it didn't push through there. That gap fill's basically toast now. There's only $2 left on it. It's not a big enough window anymore to even take a play, so just going to remove that off the charts. Not going to watch it anymore. Let's see if we get the next push on ES SPX here. Next take profit will be 67.60. I couldn't see us going through another day without filling one of these gaps. I think we got to fill the rest of this one too. I think it'll happen. NASDAQ slightly more bullish than ES. They are back in sync though. Last few candles. NASDAQ's looking to push back above this 25,100. It cleared it and then dropped back below. It is above now. ES has not eclipsed this 68.10 level yet, but is getting closer and closer by the second. SPX sitting right up by the high of day here. Move is coming. Yes, I agree. This thing is bullish. It's going to keep moving, I think. I really do. It is, before FOMC, so it could have a little less volume, be a little choppy, but I do think this thing's moving. It's going to fill this gap. My next take profit is the 67.60 level, as I mentioned. Another 5-point pop. I think we could see that here if we get a 68.10 break on ES. Looks like we found another level of support here at the 67.44-ish level right here. ES NQ slightly out of sync this candle. Slightly. See what we can do. This song is bumping. Holy crap. Slow move today. It's because volume's a bit low. We do have news in 10 minutes. It's like impending home sales or some crap like that. It won't really do much to the market, especially with FOMC tomorrow. We might see a small spike in volume, but the market's not exactly going to change direction because of this news that comes out at 10 a.m. Retesting a bit harder now. That it? You done, market? That's all you wanted to pump? Come on. Nah, it does look like it's consolidating again. It's like baby move, consolidation, baby move, consolidation, baby move, consolidation, baby move, consolidation. That I feel like that's the cycle we're in right here, right now. Hey, buddy, what's up, man? My dog's come to join me. He's over there whining. I don't know why. Why are you whining? Why are you whining, bud? There's nothing to whine about. You got a good life, bud. You got a good life. You know that. Meta just didn't move after that initial push. I'm glad we got to take profits off a half hour position there. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made any money on that play. I definitely thought we were in for a much more profitable play as it pushed up to the 628, but just couldn't get there. NQ and ES are nicely in sync now for the last 4 or 5 candles, but just not doing really anything. They're kind of just ranging here. So they're really not doing us any good. We have support here at 67.44. It's approaching that now. If it breaks below that, we will close out of this trade. And I will be upset because I wanted to make more money. But sometimes it just doesn't work out as you need it to. Found a little bounce there. I mean, overall, it still looks bullish. So that's why I'm comfortable sitting in this trade for right now. Anybody take any other trades? If you did, drop it in the chat. Curious what else is out there today, what else you guys are taking. FOMC week, a bit of a risk. So where are my risk takers today? Where are my risk takers and what are you doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Go have a green beer or something today. Or Guinness. What else do you get on St. Patrick's? I think that's it. Corned beef hash. I don't know. I don't really celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It's not really a holiday for me. It's not really my idea of a holiday. Now Cinco de Mayo. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making shit up now. That's funny. See if we found a bounce here again at the 6,800 on ES. This is a play of patience and virtue and... I'm just kidding. I'm just making up motivational words. NQ nicely pushing here. ES pushing back up a little bit as well with it. Let's see if we can get through the high of day through the 67.55 on SPX. That would be the optimal move here. Found a little bit more support at 67.46 on that last move. Overall trend still bullish. Still bullish. Still looks like consolidation for the bull move here, but it's slow. Trading before FOMC on the week of is like swimming in water with the current, you know? You move slower. Sometimes you just are treading water in the same spot. We're holding above 67.50 here on SPX kind of nicely now. 68.05 on ES is broken and holding as well. This is such a slow move. 4 minutes till news. This move is painful. I do still think the move is coming. I'm with the top line over here. I'm in the same boat as you, top line. I think we will get the move. NQ and ES have been synced up nicely. I'm going to grab my water. I'll be back in 10 seconds. I'm back. I'm alive. What'd I miss? Absolutely nothing. I missed absolutely nothing. Other than watching this chart annoy me as it doesn't move up. Getting a little more sell pressure right now. I don't love that. Need to find a bounce here. We may have done that right here. Marcy, why are you whining? Don't whine. Come here. Don't whine. Don't whine. I'll take care of you, bud. I'll feed you. I'll love you. Okay, I think I need to let him out. So bear with me just a sec. I do think we're still prepping for this bull move. It's just... Stop whining. We're just waiting for the market to do its thing. Come on, you need to move. This market needs to move. We're not having fun if we're not making money. Okay, I think he's got to go outside. Yep, tracking news at 10. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Still no move. Still nothing. It's just an annoying move, if I'm being honest. I really want ES to hold the 6,800 here. I really think the bull candle is inevitable here. It's just taking a lot of time to make its move here, which is a bit annoying. ES now moved through the 6,800 level to the downside. I don't love that. I don't love that. But just hang in here for a sec while that works its way out. News came out, by the way, a minute and a half ago. Didn't do anything to the market. Not surprised. I didn't expect it to do anything, to be honest. Like I said, news like home sales on the day before FOMC ain't going to do crap. A couple of the tech stocks started pumping here, including Google. NQ looks more bullish now. It's got a green candle, just about a green candle this 2 minute, whereas ES is still deeply red. Don't like the break here of 6,800. It's still holding my stop loss on the SPX chart, so that's why I'm still in this. Let's see if it gets back above 6,800, can match these candles on NQ now. Okay, it's pulling through my
Order
stop loss
filled.
here. I'm done. I'm out of this.
Order filled.
This is an annoying trade. It really is. Silly, silly day. And there's a drop. Okay. I don't like this. I'm going to move my stop loss. Excuse me, my alert up here. All right. I've got to get going. I got some things I got to do this morning very badly. So I'm going to be hopping off stream for today. Tomorrow, I'll be back in the morning. I think I'll be trading in the morning tomorrow. I might trade in the afternoon as well for FOMC. We'll just kind of see how the day goes and take it from there. So thank you, everybody that joined the stream.